Estes erron con de inacomputers.com otro video para ti hoy. There's a lot of heavy traffic in this hotel this evening, so I probably will be interrupted. As a matter of fact, somebody was talking somebody just walked by as soon as I started talking. Alright, I have another video, another tip video, help video. This one deals with a Canon printer, scanner, copier that's a piece of shit. I mean, where the end user could not scan to print, scan to PDF. Very common. Most inkjet printers, from my experiences, decades of experience, they're garbage, they're junk. I would never waste time with a inkjet printer. I would purchase a LaserJet, but I don't give out advice or recommendations. But just my experiences, a lot less problems with LaserJet printers. Let me read you the abstraction. I wanted to see how long you motherfuckers would start laughing, or you'd start commenting, oh, he's picking his nose again, because you fucking Americans are just... This hotel, man, I didn't get much sleep last night because... Oh, here we go. Somebody just walked by again. That might be overtime. I might include overtime and complain about this hotel again, and a possible decision where I might try to get an office, because this hotel living ain't... It's just... I don't know if I'm up to it. Anyways, alright, so let's get to this problem. So let me read you the abstract. My Canon printer, scanner, fax model MF-40 motherfucker. Yeah, that would be apropos for this, for printer, any inkjet printer. I digress back. 4350D does not allow me to save a scan as a PDF file. I need this feature. How can I upgrade it to do this? Now, this individual was using Windows 7 operating system, and they also had a service called Adobe PDF Pack. I've never heard of it. And they were trying to use it. They didn't know how. Well, then why the fuck did you buy it? And then they were paying $9.99 per month, even though they didn't know how to use it. Well, you're a knucklehead. Let me be blunt. I'm in a bad mood. You're a fucking idiot, a moron, an imbecile. You're stupid. You're dumb. You're a dumbass for continuing to pay for a service that you can't use because you don't know how to use it. So there we go. That's the third time. That's the third time somebody's walked back and forth since I've started recording this video. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That's why I'm out of this hotel. I mean, if I was rich, I'd just let these motherfuckers steal my money and I'd be gone tonight. But I'm not independently wealthy. Alright. Now, sometimes customers will have multiple questions. No, I ignore them. They wanted to know how to use that service. No. They wanted to know how to cancel it. No, that's not my problem. That's their problem. That's your problem. My problem is not to become your accountant. My job is to fix the initial issue, which was you said that you had a Canon motherfucking printer, what, 3520D or whatnot. I think somebody passed again. That's number 4. I'm not making this shit up. You think I'm making this shit up? No. So, some nights people just, especially on the other side of the building. It's been pretty peaceful up until this past weekend was a disaster, and last night was an utter disaster. I almost slept in my vehicle, and I'm not making that one up. But there's a lot of scruffy motherfuckers in this hotel, and I don't know if I would really... I'm not fear-mongering, I'm not afraid, but I just don't know if I want to, try to get sleep with any of these motherfuckers hanging out at this hotel. Alright. Now, the printer would only scan to a JPEG. Now that's very common. A lot of inkjet printers have a embed scanner because not always, but most inkjet printers now are combos. They're multi-use. It's gonna be able to copy. It's gonna be able to scan. It will be print, and it will be a fax. So usually 4-in-1, and pretty common. Well, that can be a big problem because you're jamming in a bunch of different types of electronics. You're talking about fusers. You're talking about print heads, you're talking about inkjet cartridges, you're talking about sensors, you're talking about scanner bed. It just goes on and on and on. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that was a fifth person. Some of these people don't walk as loud, but I can feel the because of physics, I can feel the vibration underneath my feet if they walk, you know, if they're heavy enough, but it doesn't make much noise. Oftentimes when a multi-device that is an inkjet, you will be able to scan. Generally, you may not be able to scan into every single extension or every single type of file type, but I would say my experience is usually almost always PDF, almost always like JPEG. You might not be able to scan to every single graphic image file like PNG or GIF or animated GIF, or it goes on SVG. You may not be able to scan into every different image type because there's probably hundreds, maybe more. But it oftentimes JPEG is very popular, and then PDF. But one is a image format, one is just Adobe. But you know what I'm saying. Now, whoops, I don't know what the oh, that was. You want to know how weird computers are? I just hit my down arrow because I thought I was clicked on the web browser and I could scroll with the down arrow. Well, I was actually, I think my encoder was selected, and I hit the down arrow and the screen went blank, and then I hit the up arrow and I can see the web browser again in the encoder. The encoder has a preview window, and I almost had a heart attack there for a minute because I was like, what the fuck did I just do? Because I hate doing that. I hate fucking around and fucking something up because I'm a perfectionist. When I have my software formatted the way I want it and something changes, it could just throw me for a loop. I included a link so that they could install the scanning toolbox version 4.9.1.1. I will include a link in the description box of this YouTube video to a direct link for that software in case you need it. Oftentimes, I don't know what the percentages are, oftentimes when I troubleshoot scanning problems, that's another big problem. The printer might print. There's nothing wrong with printing. You can print from the printer. Can you print from? Yeah, I think you can print from the printer. I know you can obviously copy from the printer and you can scan from the printer, but can you might be able to initiate print jobs from a printer. But anyways, so you might be able to copy, you might be able to print, you might be able to fax, but then you're fucked. You can't scan. Here's a tip. Pay attention. Here's a gold tip. A lot of printer software, Canon, Lexmark, Brother, Hewlett-Packard, Oki Data, did I miss any? It's bloatware. However, I don't recommend, I don't give advice, but it may be productive for you to download look for the full driver and software. Doesn't matter the manufacturer. The original equipment manufacturer does not matter. Look in the download section for the original equipment manufacturer website and look for something titled like full driver and software. That will have all the drivers. You need a printer driver, and you're also going to need a scanning driver. I think a lot of computer end users miss that one. They may be familiar with printer drivers, but when it comes to a scanner driver, it just kind of goes over their head, or I could be wrong. You're talking about hardware. So, and technically with these multi-devices, multi-facet all-in-ones or 3-in-1s or 4-in-1s, whatever the fuck you want to call them. A lot of times they're called all-in-ones, and they have 3 or 4 of the aforementioned services that you can use. Each different hardware function has to have a driver. A driver is software. It's just software. It's programming code that tells the operating system about the hardware and how to manipulate and function the hardware. A scanner has to have a driver. Even a standalone scanner that is just a scanner, that's all it does, that has to have a hardware driver. So it may preclude you to use proclivity in order to save time and frustration by just, when you install a printer, just install everything. Yeah, I know it takes a long time, especially even on Macintosh and Windows. But to me, it can save a lot of headaches and then also software. A lot of computer end users might not know this, is that just because you install a scanning driver, that does not mean that you're going to be able to scan. Well, you need some software, right? You need a scanning tool. Windows does not come with a scanning tool. I could be wrong, but I don't think Mac and crap comes with a scanning tool. Linux, I don't even want to talk about Linux and printers. That's a separate 24-hour seminar of insanity and complete mental illness to the point of being hospitalized. Linux does not support printers very well, but most Linux distros. I don't want to talk about Linux and printers. I worked a full day today. I had to go to the grocery store, and last night just drove me to further insane mental illness that I may never recover from. This may be my last video. Alright, there's a tip. When you install the full driver and full software, that's going to include the scanning driver, and that will include the software. Most printer manufacturers that has a scanner, a scanning bed, they will for free or as part of the bundle include a tool. I don't give out advice or recommendations, but I think to begin with, just stick with that. You can buy other scanning software. You can find open source. You can find other tools. But actually, a lot of times the vendor scanning tool works pretty good, and it's developed for that exact manufacturer, and it's designed specifically for that model of device. So you might want to just stick with the one that comes with that comes with the full Monty or whatever. My rice is cooking. I'm not going to neglect my rice. Nope. I've neglected children. I've neglected bureaucrats. I've neglected feminazi, feminist hoochies in America. I mean, it doesn't matter what they look like. Oh, I'm not a bigot. I basically dated them all from one spectrum to the other, the opposite ends of the spectrum, color-wise and everything else in between, and they're all the same. I don't even want to think about American feminazis right now. So that could be a potential fix, is that you did not install a scanning driver. You did not install a scanning tool. Now this individual had even further problems, probably because he's partly a knucklehead because of his track record. Who the fuck pays for shit when they don't know how to use it, or they don't know how to use it, so they're just wasting money? I don't understand that logic. That's not logical to me. I don't care if it's $1. I don't care if it's $10,000. Somebody just walked by again. Okay, so what else? Now, I'm going to give you a really big fat gold tip here, so you might want to pay attention. This individual could not get the scanning to work. They could not scan to PDF. Now, that does occur a lot more than you think. And I think it's probably the software, but it could be end user. This end user is probably, it could be an idiot or moron or stupid or dumb, dumbass, imbecile, mental midget. They might be just ignorant or naive, which I don't mind, but probably the, one of the aforementioned, but whatever. They downloaded the software like I told them. They installed everything, and the motherfuckers couldn't get scanned to PDF to work. But I will give them leeway, because you may not know this, but especially on Microsoft Windows and especially on Windows 10, Windows 10 updates have been nothing but short of a disaster. Windows 10 to me is nothing short of a disaster. A lot of Windows 10 updates will fuck up your printer. They do. I know for a fact. You install a Windows update, all of a sudden you can't print, or you cannot scan, or you cannot fax, or you cannot copy. I'm not making this up. A potential solution to that paradigm, predicament, quagmire, is to download the software. Well, first you want to properly remove a printer device, an all-in-one multi-device from Windows. You want to do it properly. I don't think most end users know how to perform that properly. Number one, you want to go on Windows 10, you go into apps and features and remove every piece of software for that printer. With Windows 10, you can search. So for example, you could search Canon, you could search Lexmark. As I itch, I don't know why I'm itching. 17 minutes, 11, 12, 13 and counting. You could search HP, whatever, Lexmark, Canon, whatever, and then it'll shorten the list. And then a lot of times what happens is you'll notice the date. The date that you installed your printer software, most of those dates should match, unless for some reason you installed the driver on one day and then a couple days later or a week later you realized you fucked up and you only installed the driver, the basic driver, and you went back and installed the full suite of software. The dates would be different. But a lot of times I notice with these installs, when I remotely connect into these clowns' computers, is the dates are the same. So that's kind of one way that you can figure out what software to remove. Or just you'll learn, just as an example, if you only have one printer, remove everything, all of them. A lot of these manufacturers, when you install the full driver and full software suite, there's all kinds of tools. Remove everything. That's the first step. On Windows 7 Vista XP, you go to Programs and Features, and then, well, no, XP is different. Whatever. Vista 7, 8 Programs and Features, but I think Windows 8 did initiate Apps and Features, whatever. You go to Programs and Features. Same thing there. Remove it out of Programs and Features. All of the printer software, everything. Get rid of it. Uninstall it. The second step is that you're going to go to either devices and printers, I think on Vista 7 and 8, and then printers and scanners on Windows 10. The brilliant knuckleheads at Microcrap, Microship, Microslop, Windblows Incorporated, based out of Redmond. Yeah, there's a lot of red in that corporation. I bet you if you looked at their accounting numbers, there'd be even more red, a bloody red, but I digress. Those motherfuckers changed it from Programs and Features, which was, everybody knew that, and then they had this dumb shit, brilliant idea to change it to Apps and Features. Well, did you know that Windows 10 has two menus and you can get to both? But most users now know of it as Apps and Features. Good job, motherfuckers. Good job pissing off Americans, and good job confusing the fuck out of the already confused. So you want to go to the hardware, either printers and scanners or devices and printers. I'm even confused now. I have to support like 10 different operating systems. I still support XP once in a while, and Vista 7, 8, 10, and Mac all the way down back to about 10.8, maybe 10.10, and Linux once in a while. I just go, and you know, they fuck around changing where everything's at, and it's just like, okay. Normally when you remove printer software, it should remove it out of devices and printers or printers and scanners. However, man, maybe I was out in the sun today. Maybe that's why I'm so itchy. I don't know. I took a shower after that, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the aura. You know what it is? I gotta roll along on this goddamn video. I wish I had something to drink. Ooh, shit, I better check my rice. That would be a good little break. My rice is almost done, so I'll probably have to... No. Neglecting children, neglecting females. But if I neglect my rice, I'm done. I think I'm allergic to hotels, and this hotel in particular. Printer software removals are supposed to remove printers from, you know, devices and printers and scanners, but they don't always. So double check. If they still are listed, remove them. I just can't tell you, just do it. Just do it. I'm giving you tips, god damn it. Just do it. Remove the goddamn fucking printer if it doesn't get removed. It'll save you a headache. Now is my gold tip, which I've not really talked about this command very often. I think I mentioned it once or twice. A lot of these printer software removals, they do not correctly remove the printer driver, or the printer driver gets corrupt. There is a manual way of removing printer driver. What you do is you go to a run. I think I will demonstrate this. I'll make this video longer. I'll just demonstrate, but I'll describe it now. Some people learn by listening. Some people learn by visual, and some people will learn by reading the abstract. I might have to write a blog post on this one, but whatever. Maybe in 10 years. Right now, no. No, I fix computer problems all day, and the last thing I want to do is fucking write a goddamn blog post about, you know, fixing computer problems all day. What you do is you open up a run box and you type in print UI space / S space / T2. Print UI stands for print user interface. Something like that. Print user interface. That is a interface where you can add and remove printer drivers manually. You may have never heard of it. A lot of these printers get fucked up in Windows 10, especially Windows 10, but also Windows 7. Some of my customers complain about Windows 7, and I give them that tip. So you want to remove the driver and the package, and I will demonstrate it. All right, and then I'll just read verbatim. This might make it easier for you. This is verbatim what I tell my victims. I mean, and another person just walked by. You might the condenser might have picked that one up. Remove the printer software from programs and features. Now that's for Windows 7 and Windows Vista, and I think a lot of Windows 8, but I think I could be wrong, but I think Windows 8 or 8.1, it could be 8.1, they started using apps and features. So yeah, talk about confusing the proletariat, serfs, slaves, feudal lord worshippers, even including myself at times. Then remove the printer from printers and scanners. Now that's going to be for Windows 7. Now type the following command into. Wait a minute. You know what? I gotta make sure, man. I'm tired, and I gotta make sure because. Yeah, that's Windows 10. I gave him a wrong instructions there. Yeah, Windows 7 is devices and printers. Windows 10 is printers and scanners. But on Windows 10, you can get to devices and printers because Windows 10 has two different menus. Why? So the correct instruction should be remove the printer from devices and printers, then remove the printer from. Now, remove the printer software from programs and features, then remove the printer from devices and printers. Now type the following command into a run box. Print UI space /S space /T2. And then select your printer and then click on remove, select remove driver and package, click OK, then click on yes, click on delete, download and reinstall a printer software from the following link. And I included a link, and I will include a link in the description box below of this YouTube video to the software because I told you I already would do it. All right. They were incompetent or they couldn't muster it, and they said they were going to invite a pal or a friend to try to, fix their or follow my instructions and fix their problem. And then they said, I'm not a techie. No shit. Well, gee whiz. You didn't need to tell me that. 98% of these clowns that I deal with every day, they have no business owning a computer, pun intended, let alone using one, let alone looking at one, let alone entering a computer store. Okay, so the friend showed how to do it and they got it done. They might have just been idiots and morons, and the friend came over and got suckered into some con job, and hopefully they charged them about $1,000, and then I also made money. But that's it. So one of those avenues fixed the problem. They were able to scan to PDF. Yep, it could have been just that the driver and software was missing. It could have been user idiocy. It could have been that the driver was corrupt, and maybe that. You think that's not possible? You think that it's not possible that one portion of a multi-device, all-in-one, would not work? Oh yes, on this third-party website. Oh yes, I know it's mentally ill. They even brag about it. Well, I can print, I can scan. I can print, I can fax, I can copy, but I cannot scan. And I'm like, I'm not touching that one because it's like. Now that one, my logic tells me, well, just reinstall the software. Yeah, it's possible that maybe the scanner driver got corrupt, or maybe the scanning software got corrupt, or what I mean by that is if the driver was installed to begin with, and the scanning tool was installed to begin. Oh yes, individual pieces of software can become corrupt within a suite. Microsoft Office is classic for that. And users will brag about they can use Microsoft Word, they can use Microsoft Excel, they can make PowerPoint presentations to bore their coworkers to death. But they cannot use Microsoft Access Database to save their life. So anyways, I think the rice is crackling. The rice is telling me that it is an attention whore, and I need to take care of my rice. I do not take care of children, and I do not take care of girlfriends, but never bite the hand. I had to eat some rice. It was crackling. It didn't burn. when it starts crackling, I know it's done. It's perfect rice. Brown rice too. I never eat cracker rice. I mean, I know pale-skinned Europeans eat white rice, but I don't. Nah. Anyways, that's it, man. Let me demonstrate. So what we're gonna do is I got to move this around. I gotta make sure things are the way I want them, and so I'm gonna demonstrate. So what you would do is, you know, you can go out and download the software first, or you can start it off, or whatever you want to do. I'm not going to demonstrate that because you just go out to a website, and with my customers, I know that they're children. I know that a lot of them are adults. You got people that are in their 80s and 90s and 70s, and they use their age as an excuse, and that's not now. Now, fuck you. No, I don't put up with excuses. Excuses in my line of work, no. I don't want to hear your excuses. So I hold their hand and I will direct link. I search for the driver. It's real quick. I might make a video showing you how to quickly look for a printer driver and software. Then I go through it'll take you, it usually takes you to a main page, and it will, most of these websites, well, since it's a search engine search, I know that it's going to take me to the exact page I want. It's going to be the right model, and it's going to take me to the main page, and then I just click on drivers, and then I click on the driver. A lot of times I have to get either the exe for Windows or DMG for Mac, and then I right click and I copy and paste the direct link. Then all they have to do is click on that link, and it doesn't matter what web browser, it should prompt them to either run or save, and then bam. So they don't have to sit there and click here, and then you have to tell them to click on drivers and software, then you have to tell them to click on which driver, and it's just like, I mean, these people are just mental midgets. So I just make it, I have to. I learned you have to hold these motherfuckers' hands, even if they're 90. They're wearing Depends. It's a different type of diaper. It's not Pampers, but, you know, different abstraction, same results. Just whatever. All right, so let me transition, and I'm not gonna always, these videos are gonna become repetitive because I use a lot of the same tactics to fix problems. So you may get sick and tired of hearing print UI, print UI, print UI, print UI, apps and features, apps and features, apps and features, programs and features, programs and features, drivers and scanners. Printers and scanners, printers and scanners, printers and scanners, devices and scanners, devices and scanners. I know I get sick of it all day long. It's just like, why the fuck did I pick this goddamn serfdom? Well, no, that's a bad term. Serfdom. Why did I pick this niche in serfdom? I think I'd rather sell shoes, or just. Did you know that Payless Shoe Store is closing all of their stores in America, but they're leaving all of the international stores open? I just thought you'd like to know that. Now that was a peculiar question of mine. I was like, well, I think Payless Shoes was founded in America. They're closing all their American stores, but they're leaving all their international stores open. Anyways. All right, here we go. So the first thing, you want to follow these in order, sequentially, linearly. Do not deviate. The first thing you want to do is remove the software from programs and features. So you can right click and apps and features or programs and features, but remember, Windows 10 is mentally ill. Windows 10 has two menus, and so you can also go to programs and features on Windows 10, but you can also go to apps and features. I always use the apps and features on Windows 10 because if I was a betting man, I would say a lot of end users don't even realize that there's two fucking menus in Windows 10. And when you tell them that, to go to programs and features, and yeah, probably not. Most likely they're gonna know apps and features. Now what you would do is make it, I don't think I have any printer software, but you would just type in the search to make it faster. I do have a Dymo printer. Well, did I remove my Dymo? No, I don't. Oh, I think I did. Why did I remove the label writer? I don't know. I'm gonna have to reinstall it. Anyways, all right. Or you can scroll through the list. I just type in the printer manufacturer name just to make it easier, because what it will do is it will only list that software, and in case you accidentally delete some other software that you need, or you accidentally, just it may save time, it may not. Anyways, let's move along. So let's say, out of hypothetics, that this would be the printer software. You just click on that and then uninstall it, and then that's it. Now, with a lot of these printer manufacturers, you're going to see multiple entries of software, and that's why it might be another good idea just to type in the manufacturer name: HP, Canon, Epson, Lexmark, so that it will only list those pieces of software. And I say remove them all. If you have multiple printers, then that could turn into somebody else is making a noise there. I don't know what, if somebody walked by or somebody below me, I don't know. Otherwise, it could turn into a clusterfuck. All right, so that's number one. Number two is that you want to double check and make sure that the printer is removed from either printers and scanners or devices and printers. So then you can go back home. You could type in printers and scanners, and there it is. Or you could use Cortana and type in printers and scanners. Or you could, I don't think it lists here. I don't think it's a right click. No, it's not. I don't know why that is. All right, so we got it here. Select printers and scanners, and then double check. The software installs, well, the software removals, they're supposed to remove it, but a lot of times it does not, and that can cause a problem. Yes, it can, because then you're going to have two printer entries, and the old one might still be default, and then you went and reinstalled the printer, but trust me, remove it. If it's not removed, remove it. That's step number two. Now, step number three is that you're going to manually remove the driver if it's not removed. The software removal is supposed to, but a high percentage of times it doesn't, or the removal requires a reboot and the end user doesn't realize that, or they ignored it, or they were just like, fuck it, and they did not, or the driver gets corrupted and the software removal does not remove it and it's still there, and when you go to install it on top of it, guess what? It's not going to replace the good driver with the corrupted driver. So what you would do is you're going to type into a run box. So you can right click and select run. Yeah. Do you hear all that noise? It's a circus. I'm counting the hour. I'm literally counting the hours to escape from this goddamn insane asylum. So another way is you could use Cortana and then type in run and then select run, or you just right click and select run, or all right, then you're going to type in the command print UI /s /T2. I think that's correct. Then you're going to click OK, and you're going to be presented with this printer server properties. You may have never seen this. So the Dymo label is still, the driver is still installed, but I'm pretty sure I removed the software. Or you know what? Let me double check, because, hey, I'm a computer technician. Let's go back into apps and features. I thought I removed the software for the Dymo. Yeah, I think I did. It's gone, or it's either gone or it's a error. Oh yes, with Microsoft operating systems, there's false positives. You go into apps and features and the software doesn't list, it's not listed. You think it's removed? No, it's still on your computer. And you go to C programs, C program files, either x86 or x64, and you double click the executable and it still works. But that's Redmond, that's microchip, microslop Winblows. That one is that one's more rare, but whatever. So now what you would do is, we'll just use this as an example, which I kind of wanted to. So the Dymo Label Writer 450 Turbo, hypothetically that is the scanning device that does not work. So you're going to click on remove. Now you want to select the second one, remove driver and driver package. What that does is it removes the driver package from cache. Winblows has a cache. It has a driver's cache. What that does is that if that device is detected again, it will look in the driver cache and it will install that driver. But the driver and or the driver package could be corrupt. And so you want to properly remove a printer, not half-assed, not the advice or the instructions from the YouTube technology shills. You want to properly learn how to remove a printer on Windows 10. Sometimes you have to manually remove the driver. So you would click OK, and I'm going to say yes because I'm going to actually remove it. Now, then you have to click on delete. You're not done yet. You have to click delete, and then it's deleted. It's gone. Now you can double check. It's gone. You notice how it's not listed anymore? This is perfect. This is the way it should work. However, in microslop land, it does not. A lot of times you get two different errors. The first one is not that big of a deal. It will say, when you click on delete to delete the driver, it will tell you that the driver is deleted, but that the INF file is still on the is still there. Don't worry about that. The INF file, it is best to remove it, but from my experiences, even if the information file, which is kind of like a driver, but it just gives information about the hardware. I don't think it's technically the driver, but back in the day it kind of did work like a driver. But anyways, if that's still on the hard drive, it's okay. I've went ahead and reinstalled the software and it didn't cause an issue. But I am kind of anal retentive when it comes to perfection. I prefer not to ever see any errors, and I can sleep better at night, especially when it comes to Winblows operating system. The second error is you may get an access denied error. I have not looked into that. You know what I'm saying? I have not studied that yet. I don't know why you'd get an access denied error. That's bad. Well, you might be logged in with an account that does not have administrative privileges. That my logic just told me that, but I don't know that for a fact. Now, I have been able to work around that. I usually just ignore it. A lot of times I just restart the computer, or I ask the customer to restart their computer, and I'm gonna save that down the road. I think you're better off just following my instructions to a T as much as you can, and not deviate. The more I release these videos that in my opinion are full of gold tips, because every single one of these videos I helped at least one customer fix a real world computer problem. You know what I'm saying? And the more I release these videos, I have about 83 left in my queue. I have 83 videos I need to make. They're going to become redundant, and then maybe later down the road I might give you some, how shall I articulate, shortcuts. I might start talking about shortcuts, but for now, just follow the goddamn instructions and fix your issue. Alright, that's it, man. And that one went well because the driver was on the hard drive still, and I deleted it the way you're supposed to, and it was deleted. No errors. That's good. That's a good sign. So then what you would do is you just learned how to properly remove a printer from Windows 10 properly. You know, you don't have to follow. Again, these are troubleshooting videos. This is when you run into a roadblock. This is when you have that "what the fuck do I do now" moment. You know what I'm saying? I just forgot my password. I just forgot my... Nah, I gotta run. This video is already 45 minutes. This is a troubleshooting video. Normally, yeah, I don't want to deviate. This is if you run into problems. Obviously, if you find this video, you may have had the same problem. You can't scan to PDF. I just gave you a bunch of troubleshooting tips. Now the last step is that you would download the software, and from the link that I give you, or you know what I'm saying, and then install the full driver and software, and then that's it, and it hopefully will fix your issue. Whew. I'm tired. I don't want to talk. I'm not going to go into overtime, even though I'm fucking pissed off at this hotel. And last night, quickly, just a few seconds. Last night, there were some neighbors that moved into this back room, and I'm not making this shit up. They were up all night into the early hour of the morning, walking back and forth, or they were taking smoke breaks. I smelled cigarette smoke all night, and now I smell cannabis, and I can smell the cannabis in my room, and I'm really... I don't want to pay a $250 fine. I don't know. I haven't smoked cannabis in a long time, but I know what it smells like. And then I think it could be a mixture of cannabis and cigarette smoke. It reeks really bad. And I'm hoping that after the 2 weeks is up, that the room will smell like it did. But before last night, it smelled great. Right now, it just smells like a fucking dumpster fire. Adios. And no, I did not get contact high. Although if there was enough smoke, I would, because I don't smoke cannabis. I think that's a distraction. No, I'm not saying I'm an anarchist, but no, I gotta run.